Hello everyone, Lloyd from Bizzfo with a short tutorial on handling your returns within your system, specifically bottle returns. Let's quickly have a look at this database setup. I've only got 4 products here. There's quite a few scenarios how we can handle our returns. And what I've done, we have to consider if you return an item, you might experience that you don't want to return or allow items to be returned on your database, specifically for bottle stores. So first thing I'm going to do with my database is I'm going to go to select all rows, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to set, and I'm going to say that the items in this list um, do not allow. So first off, I'm setting all the items in my database to not allow, meaning that none of these items can be returned accidentally. So, but what I do want to do is have these 2 items to be allowed because they are actually my bottle returns. So let's go and we set them, and we say allow these 2 items. Alright, second thing I want to do is there's 2 scenarios. For this example, I'm just going to show you, I'm going to set these items. So let's have a look how this, before I set the item. This is just a normal product in the database. It's got a retail price, but we want to list this item as a return. So there's 2 ways of doing it. In the point of sale itself, stating that it's a return, or what I can do is I can actually set up this product and just classify it as a return. But before I do that, important thing about returns is you want to manage and track your returns. So let's just have a look at the category. So you'll notice this bottle category got a cash off category which is set to true, and I will show you how this comes into play at time of cash up. Because remember, we want to track bottle returns. Bottle returns is a loss in money. So just as important as it is to count your cash, it is also to count the bottles, as they will need to balance your till. Okay. So let's jump back quickly and let's just recap. So if I go to show me disallowed, so I'm just going to type in yes. So these items are disallowed; they will not be allowed to return to be returned. And let's say no. Okay, these items will be allowed to be returned. And then the last thing I want to do is I'm going to take these items. I'm going to say select all, and then I'm going to say set exchange item. These are exchange items. Alright, so looking at the entire database, if I say let's look at exchange item and I say yes, then I can see these 2 items are listed. So let's see how this works on the point of sale. I'm going to go to the point of sale. I have already set up the buttons. So normally when you return something, you would typically go to your menu, you would click on your return button, and depending if the user has got access, you would now be allowed to return something. The problem with this is the user will now have access to the whole database, and as per the setup I showed you now, let's say cappuccino and we try to return this item exchange, and it says not allowed to return the item. So this basically safeguards you against staff having the access to return products and then you stating that it's not allowed. Alright, so let's test that again. So we want to return an item, and this is the typical process. I want to return this bottle. I'm going to click on exchange, and looking at the invoice now, we can see it's a negative. But remember, I've already set this product by default to be a return item, so I can simply go to my bottle return. I can then I need to set up the button quickly. Just give me 1 second. Let me show you how quick this is. So I'll just go back to my home. I go exit, point of sale, touch setup. We're going to go to our bottle returns. We'll go inside the menu. Let's link a product. We'll take the bottle return, this one. I've just double clicked it, and we'll take the back button, link that. We'll take this button, link it, and I'm just going to add my back button again. And that's how quickly it is to add your buttons. Let's go back to our touch. And alright, as we stated before, we have now added an item. And what we want to do now is just click on our bottle return, and there we go. So what we've done is we've set it up in a database. So instead of returning the item via this screen, we have now set it up by default, and we've basically locked the system down to say nothing else is allowed to be returned except for these items. If an item do come back, you can just follow your normal credit procedure and then exchange it in that way, which still allows you to return stock, but just not within this current setup. Okay, so let's close the sale off, and we'll go to the last part, which is forming part of our control. So remember what I did is I took the bottle returns and I set the cash up category. So that just means we are now counting these items. So for this specific shift, I've done bottle returns and I have done one already. And this means that these bottles must be counted with the shift, as this money was actually taken out of the cash draw. So let's just do one more. We'll go back to our menu. We'll do a sandwich, and with the sandwich they brought in the bottle return. We'll do 2 items and we'll close the sale off again by going back to our cash up. At this point we can just have a look, and we can see that our items are listed here as 1 and 2. So 3 items have been returned. This is the money that has been given out of the cash draw, and this is the count of bottles. Okay, so that was a really quick overview of how to set your items to not allow any items in your database to be returned except for specific ones that you want to set, and also then setting a product specifically to be an exchange item, so once the user clicks that item can be immediately exchanged. Any questions, feel free to pop us a mail at lloyd@bizzfo.co.za.